And we're live. (6:30 p.m., August 12, 2026, calling the city council meeting to order. Jeff Bindle,
Here.
Amanda Vasquez,
Here.
Scott Huber,
Here.
Randy Johnson, Shane Light.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have no public input. So, we move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to change or approve the consent agenda?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Bindle,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Maskey,
Yes.
Light,
Yes.
do I have a motion to open the public hearing on the change of the fiscal year 27 budget amendment 1?
Make a motion to open the public hearing at 6:33 for the budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year 27.
Second.
Vasky,
Yes.
Bendel,
Yes.
Light,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Okay, so we have our first budget amendment for fiscal year 27, and this was detailed for you in a memo that amends 25,000 to our culture and recreation. I'm putting it under parks property for the parcel for the downtown that was purchased. The 25,000 just simply gives the little bit of extra room there, closing costs or fees or anything like that. And then this is a Scribner error. I forgot to include this year, the approval of wages FY27 for, the county portion that is contributed each year. I forgot to include that. And then the council also approved the additional 10,000 to get through the high library hours of programming at the June meeting, I believe. So was it June?
I think.
I think it was beginning of June. So those are the items that are on the public hearing and budget amendment. We did not receive any comments or phone calls via the city clerk's office. And none sent via email to me from council members either.
Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Huber,
Yes.
Vasky,
Yes.
Bendel,
Yes.
Light,
Yep.
staff reports. The city engineer is here. Would the city engineer wish to make any verbal report?
I think we covered all the bases in the update. It was a lengthy one. We had to try to be detailed specifically on pump house. project. So, do we have any questions regarding anything in the report?
Thank you, thank you, John. Moving on to new business. Do I have a motion to consider resolution 2027-006 to approve the fiscal year 27 budget amendment number 1?
I will motion to approve resolution 2027-006, approving the fiscal year 27 budget amendment number 1.
I will second.
Bendel,
Yes.
Maskey,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Light.
Yes.
Do I have a motion to consider the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission for rezoning parcel ID 21039-200 Putnam Drive? The, considering the resolution 2027, setting it, no, okay.
So 2027-013 for the Hutton Drive rezoning to set the date for a public hearing for the rezoning from M1 Light Industrial District to C1 Commercial District. So this resolution is simply to set the date for that public hearing.
That's setting it for next month at 6:30. I'll motion to approve resolution 2027-013, setting the date for next month's meeting, I think September 12th, 9th at 6:30.
I'll second.
Bendel,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Light.
Yep.
Maskey.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, this one's kind of confusing. So under the same rezoning, I included a memo from the building inspector as well as the draft resolution 2027-023, which has been discussed with the city engineers as well. And we feel that it's in the best interest because the developer would like to move forward with the site development. And since the rezoning is still in process, we are issuing a resolution to approve that preliminary site development work with the at-risk
So it's at
grading.
risk. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is a fairly common approach that the communities do. I don't know if you guys have, obviously.
I think this is our first one since
Yeah.
I've been here with the
I don't know if Matt was
rezoning.
around, if he had to deal with this at all, but, so it's for situations like this where the formalities that take a long time, especially rezoning, where, they wanna, get back on schedule. Obviously, I believe the church has a very, quick turnaround on how soon they have to be out of the existing building. I think it's in March. And is when their lease is up over there. So contractor wanted to get a head start and just begin site grading and underground utilities. And I believe that Doug specified that in the resolution. So it's still at risk. Now, the risk being that they get a ton of pushback from the public and you guys reject the rezoning, is essentially their risk. Because then, you know, they do all that work for nothing, but they're willing to take that risk. We have reviewed their site plan in detail. It was a well put together site plan. You usually I want to review comments we had on it, and they've actually got these addressed already. So there's really no risk involved, and, the other approach with this at-risk stuff is they get started without the engineer reviewing their plan, and all of a sudden, they get too far ahead and we have to change something significant. But in this case, their site plan's pretty well buttoned up. So they have limited risk as far as us changing something on our review. So really the risk involved on their part is, like I said, the rezoning doesn't go through. But we felt, and normally these at-risk permits, the city staff, just like Doug issued a building permit, they want to come to you guys, but because I think this might be the first time you've heard about this project in detail, I'm sure you've all heard about it, but we felt, or Shane Wicks really felt, that this needed to come to you guys for consideration rather than us, being one step on your toes or anything, and
Doug was
not
pretty
hear about
involved as
anything
well.
until, obviously you set the public hearing date, but then if we really get into discussion at the next month's meeting with the rezoning, and they're already moving dirt around up there and throwing red flags up with you guys. So, because this is all rezoning, we thought it should come to you for consideration first. So here we are.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2027-23, authorizing an at-risk development activity for the proposed Veritas Church.
I'll second.
Maskey,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Shane?
Yep.
Light? Bendel?
Yes.
We have a motion to consider resolution 2027-015, authorizing the transfer and repurposing of the 2017 Ford Explorer for general city purposes.
Motion to consider.
I'll second.
Bendel?
Yeah.
Maskey?
Yep.
Huber?
Yeah.
Light?
Yep.
And we have a discuss peddler and solicitor permit application and process. City Administrator, if you would like to lead the discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering if the motion to consider is a discussion motion, or is it an approval of the resolution? I'm a little confused on what the best,
Oh,
what the plan approach was with the.
I thought everybody had read it and,
I don't know, I get confused with consider resolution or approve resolution, so
okay,
if you want to consider the resolution or a motion to consider resolution,
okay, we can,
That's why I thought we voted on it, was consider.
approve or consider,
Consider.
which would be a discussion, maybe a little detail, I don't know. I'll motion to approve it, but I don't know what the.
I will take the vote as a approval to consider it. Discussion from the City Administrator.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So let me go back here. Okay, so I sent a memo regarding the 2017 Ford Explorer. We have had our discussion involving the 2023 Tahoe, and previously, I believe last year, we started a discussion with Benton County, not Benton County, North Benton. I'll get it right here. North Benton Ambulance, and that kind of tabled, and they didn't get funding. So I just wanted to open this back up. Again, depreciation of the vehicles that are just sitting there. We've had 2 incidents already this year where we've had to have our public works employees. 3 of them had a training in the morning, but we only have a vehicle that would take one group, so 2 vehicles have to go for them to go to a morning training. Otherwise, city purposes would just include simply, the deputy clerk goes to the bank every day, goes to the post office every day, rarely, but once in a while, has to go to Benton County, to Vinton. We have been doing a lot of driving for nuisance complaints, and I just feel that, it's time for us to consider possibly using it just as a general city purpose vehicle rather than having it sit in the bay with no use at all. I did have a question from a council member regarding what the cost may be to, I don't even know,
Decontent it.
there you go, decontent the vehicle. This particular vehicle does have like a police cage in it. It does have, probably radar, things like that. There is someone that is over at county that does that. When county was here, they said that they could contact that person, and find out how much it would cost. I do believe it is not much, and I say that meaning that something like that is well under $1,000. In terms of decal, we do have heat guns here at the city, which I believe that they would be able to easily remove the heat gun, or with a heat gun to remove those decals. If we wanted to have the city just general logo decal placed back on it, they use a place out of Cedar Rapids, which already has all of the decal and graphics there, so it would just be for the application and the purchase of the decal if that's what the city decides to do. I did do some research on the 2017, which I don't know that I even have that in here, but as you may know, the value of that is not as much as just using it and repurposing it here within the city. Once in a while, I go to trainings that are out of town. I think, it's the intent is not that it just gets, drive around just to drive it around. If there would be general just municipal services that we would use that for.
We basically offset reimbursing employees for using their personal vehicles on that point. And the other one was in our discussion with the sheriff's department in removing police equipment from the police department rooms. They indicated that they'd be willing to remove the content, and I'm presuming that they would take said content in trade for the task of removing it.
So I was waiting to hear back from county, so the council doesn't have the official conversation recap of that. So I was waiting to hear back from county, but yes, August 5th, I think it was, the sheriff, the deputy chief, and a captain, all three of them from county did come over to the police department here so that we could take a look at the Tahoe, take a look at what different things could be negotiated. And in that conversation, which is what I was waiting to get back from county, there was discussion in there regarding just how different things have been left and the liability that is kind of put on the city right now with how things have been left over there. So, which would include everything that you can think of. So there's destruction of evidence, there's evidence files over there, there's case files, there's ammo, there are weapons, there are things over there that hasn't been recapped in an email to the council just yet, but again, those are the things that the mayor is referencing in terms of how we're going to kind of package that negotiation contract with law enforcement services for FY27, offsetting that with the Tahoe. But then once we got over there, there was a lot of additional things that would require manpower, things like that to really take care of that space and the liability that's left over there, which is exactly, I think, what the city would like county to do. And because we do contract with them, they're the only ones that would come in to be able to do that. because they do have access to all of that county information, things like that. So, long story short, yes, I believe that part of that conversation then was taking out the content of the Ford Explorer, if that's what the city decides to do in this negotiated process. So, not meant to not update you, but I just had not heard back from county in terms of a recap of our meeting just yet before the
Well, we don't
meeting.
have anything solid back from Benton County.
No, which was what I was waiting for, so that I could, I think I just had sent the draft email to you, but had not heard back from them just yet, so.
I think it's probably the right thing to do. We should just pay attention to how much use it's getting, and if it's not, then we unload it whatever way we can.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad try out the gate, because it's not like we're gonna, I don't know what kind of demand there would be for that as it sits.
I was gonna say, can anyone drive it as it sits?
Well, it's 9
No.
years old already.
Correct.
Right,
Nobody can drive it as it sits.
and no one can drive it as. it
No, I
sits.
mean, offer it for sale to another small community as a
Oh.
police vehicle. That's what I mean, basically.
Oh.
It's value to another police community.
I'm not sure the answer to that. I just know that because of that older vehicle, what was in the vehicle in terms of maybe the computer, but it did not have any of the bells and whistles that the newer vehicle had. So there really wasn't a lot in there that would carry value other than the vehicle itself. Meaning like the cage, yes, but like county didn't believe that there was a lot of value if we were to just sell it off to someone else.
They would have to do upgrades, basically.
Yes. Whoever would take the vehicle would have significant upgrades, because like even the radios and that, everything is obsolete, I think is the word they used, wasn't it?
Stuff's been upgraded past that, and what's in there wouldn't match
Even
what
the
everybody else is.
AED.
What is current?
Even the
So-
AED in it is obsolete. So we can't even like repurpose the AED in
I'm
it.
sure we've never kept, and we haven't kept up with, you have to like do every 6 month checks on those AEDs. And
Right, the AEDs, we did not, we have over the last 2 years, we have kept up on the maintenance, but again, not enough, taking it out and driving it once every 6 months and taking it to get
I mean, I believe that
a
stuff
check.
was considered obsolete a couple of years ago when we
Yes,
still were in.
I think so too. I think so too. That's why, I mean, I could do further research on that. I really didn't, just after a conversation with Benton County, I thought, we don't have a general purpose vehicle that the city staff can even use. Like I said, you wouldn't think going to the post office and doing that, but when you do it every single day and then you drive around town to do nuisance abatement, or you've got to take records to Benton County, I mean, the mileage does add up. Myself, I could, honestly, I could do without driving it. It doesn't make a difference to me one way or the other. I just feel in terms of the best decision-making, when you have a vehicle like this, it does nothing just sitting there. So,
Well, point being, if we put the city logo on the side, because I went out and took pictures of the nuisance property, and one of the neighbors said, well, there was somebody over there taking pictures of that property.
well, the other,
You didn't
now
know it
that you
was
say
me
that,
doing it, but-
now that you say that, we have a very busy building inspector right now, and allowing the building inspector to have a vehicle where he is going to sites and being on site, because he also goes to do inspections. Having a vehicle like that for him to use is a great idea as well. So, I mean, just the general purpose of it and the flexibility of having it available, I believe,
We can put it to use, basically.
I do think it would get put to use, yes.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2027-15, authorizing the transfer and repurposing of the 2017 Ford Explorer for general city purposes.
I'll second that.
Vasky,
Yes.
Light,
Yes.
Bendel,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Okay. Discuss peddler and solicitor permit application and process. I will turn the discussion over to city administrator.
Okay, so this is where I'll ask the question too. Do we open the discussion with a vote, or do I just go ahead and go? I mean, when there's a resolution, we go through the motion, so if not, I'll talk. If so,
You
anybody?
got the floor.
Okay, all right, so it was a little bit ago, I believe it was the end of June, I sent an email to, I believe to the council and to the mayor about starting to review the peddler, solicitor, transient merchants, ordinance and application. I did that because, as you all know, we do still have, individuals that do come in to get a peddler permit. Aside from the food truck type peddler permit, things like that, we do get merchants and solicitors that do come in, or we get them reported to the city because someone has seen them in town and wants to know if they have a peddler permit. I believe that it would be good for us to start a review of this process. I'm not sure when the last time it would have been reviewed, but when I started looking at it, it was actually a Facebook post that I believe was out of Manchester or something like that, questioning an individual that had a peddler permit. And currently, how this process works is someone is either told to come to City Hall, or once in a while you get someone that comes in because they know they need to stop at City Hall. And they can fill out an application for a peddler permit or a license. It requires them to give us their name, address, the company name. They do need to give a driver's license, I believe, and that's about it. And according to the ordinance, they can be approved within the office and off they go. And I just feel like after reviewing this, after seeing, concerns of people in town, that we should really review this and have a more thorough process for this. Somebody shows up at City Hall and then expects to, within 10 minutes, be able to go out into the public, knock on doors, and the city has given approval for that. And I, in good conscience, do not feel comfortable doing that, because I believe maybe there should be a more thorough process, whether it's some kind of background check, insurance checks, things like that. I do believe they have to give a copy of their insurance, but even then, we don't get people in here that have a copy of their insurance with them. So I just put together something, I put in here the current ordinance, the current license, then tried to just produce something that looked like where there could currently be gaps within our ordinance and the current application and how we may be able to look at this. There's so much stuff in here. You could be really thorough where they have to pretty much, it's 30 days. Or it could be the length of how long does it take maybe for the sheriff's office to do a background check. I don't know. But after I got to looking at this, I felt like before we have a discussion, I wanted to just be able to provide you with a packet of information, possibly some suggestions that we could do. I will do some more research maybe to see what other cities do in terms of their process, or neighboring cities, because as you know, if they come to Urbana, they're probably going to go to Center Point, they're probably going to go to Palo, they probably have already been to Vinton, whatever that is. But I had sent this because I feel like it probably wouldn't be done in the next month or so, but I wanted to make sure that when the active season came around again, that we would have a more up-to-date and thorough process of people that come into the city and how we want that to look in the future. So I thought before we discuss it, and I know I put it on here as discussion, but the more that I put a packet together, I feel like maybe I would like the council and the mayor to take the packet with you, review it, maybe see if there's some different suggestions that you could start emailing me, or questions that you may have, different things that trigger a thought for you in some of the information that I've included in there. Is that fine, or how do you guys want to do that?
Would the council like to forward emails to the city administrator during the next month and then have a more in-depth discussion during next month's meeting.
Give us time to review everything.
Didn't Centerpoint just roll out a new one too?
Possibly, I think
Pretty
I
sure
saw
they did.
something, but I have not reached out to them yet, but
I think I saw online that they did. It was either right around when you sent this, I thought I saw that.
yeah. Well, and I just think, again, the more that people are out there and they believe that the city has given them permission, then I feel in good conscience, the city needs to know who we're approving to be out there knocking on doors and,
You want my opinion, I don't think we should allow door-to-door solicitation at all in the community. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would be apt to go that route because
I think
we've
it's
had
whatever
at least
this.
3 different.
I would have to look that up actually, but I do
pest
think it's
companies
something that we
coming around,
should keep.
and none of them have had a permit and they knock on every door and they make a point to come back to every door. And I've specifically told them, hey, you have to have a permit before you can proceed and then I'll see them down the road.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they just-
I feel like I have seen that there are towns and cities that have no soliciting within the city
Yeah.
limits.
I mean,
The same one, the same group that you're talking about with the Manchester, they were here.
Mhm.
And I told them they needed to come up here, I would bet they never did.
Oh, trust me, I know, they've come to my house and I've said the same thing, and they try and get around it, and I said, no, you don't understand. I'm actually the city administrator, and you cannot be here without a permit, and they did pedal up here, but again,
Yeah.
I just think, I feel like it's time for us to review it, I think I'll look at those options, maybe there is an option that there's no soliciting within city limits, and I'll look to see
I
if
mean,
that's an
obviously,
option.
like,
I
ice cream trucks and stuff is a little different, but like going up to a door, knocking on
Door to
it,
door.
I really have a problem with that in today's world, just people don't.
I pulled into town where it's right on their city population side. No
Is it?
soliciting, yeah.
I think we would consider it.
Well, the council has the opportunity and the obligation to decide what we're gonna do.
My interest people more coming to town if they know we don't allow that kind of crap.
So I will do a more thorough process on that and kind of put together some more information. And I will also reach out to ECOG to see, since he's obviously been working on our code of ordinance, he also knows the model code. So I'll reach out to him and see if there are cities that have the no soliciting in city limits. And if that's the case, and that's the route that the city goes, then definitely signage, things like that, I think is important because it's interesting because we've even had businesses that come in that their business name that they put on the application doesn't match the business name that they have on their insurance. And I'm like, that's interesting. Which leads me to believe that we should have some kind of background check or something more than people just coming in and expecting to pay the $10 or the $30 and then off they go into our community. So I feel like more and more it's a safety issue and that's why I wanted to bring it up for consideration. So I'll do some more research in the meantime. If you get going through your packet and more things come to mind, please send them via email is probably the best way to do it. It allows me to keep everything and make notes and have it for possibly the September meeting. We'll see. We've got a lot of stuff going on in terms of construction and
Well, we could have a committee to make recommendations as to whether or not we have solicitors.
I don't know that we need that, I feel like
Well,
if we find out that
It's
we
not
can't.
something that we need to decide tonight, it's just, that's another
We could
route.
put
We just need
something
more,
on.
we need more information on it.
Right,
I can always put something on the website. Like if you feel like you want community feedback about it, we can always put something out and see what the community's feedback is about the solicitors. Obviously, I feel like it's, I think like you mentioned, yes, I feel like the permits that we get for like food trucks, things like that, I feel like are a little separate, but should go through a background check as well, or at least the business or such. but is a little different than the door-to-door soliciting. And also looking at legally or how that works, I do like the support, I personally, so that would be totally up to other people, but I do like supporting local, organizations like pre-K through 12, but I do know go door to door, and how is that different than, this type of thing? So I feel like there's a little more research there, but if you have specific opinions or you talk to other people in the community and you'd like to add some input to the review process, please send it to me and I'll try and compile more information. Otherwise, you can take the yellow packet that I have put together for you if you'd like to take that with you tonight.
Any other questions regarding the peddler permit discussion? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Is Christine golfing on Saturday?